Yeah, Tales from the Jails here. John G. Sutton. I want to talk today a little bit about haunted prisons. People ask me now and again, were they really haunted? You see, if you haven't actually been in a prison at midnight, when it's really round about the 31st of October, Halloween, I have, midnight till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It really is quite spooky. I was on D-Wing at WORMWOOD SCRUBS, and it would be probably November, I think, late October, November, and I was on my own on D-Wing on nights, and of course on nights you're required to walk around the entire D-Wing. They had like switches that you had to turn a key in to register the fact that you were patrolling the wing, every half an hour. One half an hour it would be the actual switch at the top of D4, and then the next half hour it would be the switch at the bottom of D1, just to show that you were patrolling the wing, which of course, generally speaking, you were. Anyway, it would be about gone midnight, and I heard this bell ringing, and I went up. It was on the 4s on D-Wing, and I went up, and this inmate's on his bell, and I said, right at the end of D-Wing it was, and at the end cell actually. And I said to him, I said, what is the matter, I said, you're ringing your bell. I'm here, and he said, oh, there's a woman in my cell. So she's been sitting on my bed. I said, okay. I said, well, listen, my name's John. I said, I'm just here to make sure you're all right, and if you really are in desperate need, I'll help. So, but tell me what you've seen. So he was going on about this woman coming into his cell through the door, but the door was shut. He couldn't get through. It was everything locked up, absolutely everything locked up. So I basically said, this can't be. I said, and anyway, you don't need to worry. It's just a very, very bad dream that you've had. And basically, it can't possibly be, because this is the male prison. There are no females here. It's all men. So I managed. It took me about half an hour, 35, 40 minutes, nearly, to calm him down. And by the time I'd done that, I'd missed the key thing. So anyway, they had a night incident book, and I wrote it into the incident book, the number of the cell, the name of the inmate, the time it took place, and what have you. Anyway, the next morning, the senior officer came round and checked all the everything had been done, and I'd logged on every half an hour. He said, you've missed one of the logins here. I said, I haven't missed it at all. I said, it's written in the day book, the night book actually, but it was called a day book, called incident book. I said, and I was answering a call from an inmate on D4 landing, right at the end, who told me that he'd seen a woman in his cell, and that he was panicking because he thought it was haunted and all that. I said, I explained to him, that this is a male prison, and that there's no women here, and so he needn't to worry. It's just a very bad dream. He said, it could have been a very bad dream. He said, but we go back to the 1920s, 1930s, this particular wing in WORMWOOD SCRUBS was the female prison. He said, and there is a story that when it was a female prison, they allowed the inmates to keep their babies with them for the first 6 months, and then they were taken away and taken to an orphanage or whatever. And he said, and at the top, the very end cell, there was a story about the female inmate who was there. When they took her baby off her, she went insane and threw herself off the top landing and hit the floor, and she was committed suicide. He said, and since that happened, on certain nights she has been seen. And I can understand that might very well be the case, because this inmate described this woman wearing a kind of a uniform kind of outfit, and when I'd been going up to the cell, the actual stairways leading up to the floor landing felt extremely cold, and all around the cell there was like an unearthly stillness and freezing cold. And I could hear footsteps in D Wing, and there was only me in there. I mean, I am a little bit prone to seeing things like that. I wouldn't say I was insane, but I certainly have, throughout my career in the prison, seen various things like that. Next time I'll talk about seeing the ghost of Mrs. Merriweather at Strangeways. Mrs. Merriweather was the Blackpool poisoner. She murdered an old lady she was caring for by putting arsenic into her jam and poisoned her and killed her so that she could steal her money and her property. And she was hanged at Strangeways, and her ghost has been seen in Strangeways. I will discuss that next time. So that's a little story for today. The ghost of D Wing at Wormwood Scrubs. I'm not going to sing to you though. Take a deep breath, eh? You've escaped that. You escaped nicely there. But I am going to read you a poem here. It's a rather nice poem. I like this poem. Yeah. More poem than anything. This is a poem by a man called Edward Thomas. He was killed in World War I, by the way. This is Addlestrop. Yes, I remember Addlestrop, the name, because one afternoon of heat the express train drew up there unwontedly. It was late June. The steam hissed. Someone cleared his throat. No one left and no one came on the bare platform. What I saw was Addlestrop, only the name, and willows, willow herb and grass, and meadow sweet and haycocks dry, no whit less still and lonely fair than the high cloudlets in the sky. And for that minute a blackbird sang close by, and around him, mistier, farther and farther, all the birds of Oxfordshire and Gloucestershire. Addlestrop by Edward Thomas. He was something of a manic depressive, apparently. Anyway, I sincerely hope you've enjoyed this little Tales from the Jails. Don't forget to have a look at my TikTok channel. There's some silly stuff on there. It's mainly comedy. And I hope you've all got a copy of my book now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching Tales from the Jails.